discussion with that?
I don't agree with that. It just makes, I don't know, I see that maybe Joe Trail, you know, a draw for that. But I think about what we're going through in our county now, and the extra expense we're gonna have because what's happened on the trail. And that is another concern of mine, would have to, trail runners, I don't know.
So if we can't come up with a decision, this project dies, right? And it just gets moved back.
The bridge continues on track without the addition of the at-grade, separated trail as well as the, tunnel, unless the city, county want to cover the cost. But we would need to know that at the same time, because again, it's having the time for environmental, for design, for permitting, there are all kinds of things that happen behind the scene. A lot of folks, and I did too, prior to taking this position, I've been with NDOT for 25 years. When I first came, I thought all we did was plow snow and pick up dead animals. Let me tell you, the amount of time and effort it takes to deliver a project, even within 5 years, sometimes it just isn't enough.
What's it?
So the only big option here is about the trail and the extension of the bridge for the tunnel and the walkway. The other stuff will still be done, right, the paving and all that?
Absolutely.
But if we,
The only, the
Want to
one,
pay for it ourselves, on the trail part of it, we have to tear up 25 foot tunnel underneath it and then fix that.
well, what we would do is we would still do it in conjunction with our project. It would just be, they would still refer to that as like a line item Z, or where is it where the locals participate?
I'm not too sure about
Okay, so there, frequently, we dealt with this with the city of LaPorte not long ago as well too, where they wanted to, widen the trail on one side of the bridge, take it away from the other side. There was one on each side of the overpass there in LaPorte, and they wanted it on a single side, so it would be wider. So let me tell you, riding your bike over that thing was a little bit scary if somebody was, even if somebody wasn't walking. So we agreed to do that, but any additional cost went to the local. So they just signed an agreement, the project was constructed, and the local paid the difference between what we would have paid with the original project versus what the end bill was with the addition. Yeah.
the option.
So there is that opportunity. I might add, looking at option 3, you're looking at 931,000 to just over 1.3 million. With that contribution, how long, if NDOT contributed that and you were taking on the transfer of the bridge and these roadways, how long would that money last you? Because we're giving you a brand new bridge, and we're resurfacing 4 segments of the road. So, just think about that as a balance, right? You know, coming up with, because you'd have to come up with this money relatively quickly. We'd have to have an agreement before it goes to letting, a financial agreement. And then once it's constructed, obviously that payment has to happen. So you're probably talking in the next 12 to 18 months, I'm gonna guess. I don't know how quickly, like the construction completion data is on this based off the numbers, what the anticipated notice to proceed would be, but it's single year construction, correct?
It could be.
Yeah, okay. Well, single year construction, you would be looking at some type in fiscal year 24, to compensate for the.
I understand where Lauren's coming from, the maintenance on the road. The other issues, you know, like we're trying to get the extension to 75. We just came about that again, what, 8 months ago?
Yep.
And again, I'm more than willing to have a follow-up conversation. It'll have to be separate from this, cause I've gotta keep this one on track. But we can schedule something at the same time to have that conversation, where your struggles are at,
I would double down on that. I mean, what happens here with transfer and stuff this shouldn't feel like a closed door on the 75 extension.
Correct.
This is why we're here. We're always
Yeah.
able and willing to have a conversation on any topic.
If we don't come to an agreement on the road transfer for Old State Road 25, that doesn't mean that I'm not coming back to talk about 75, so.
But the concern is trying to grow our other towns too. I mean, Florida's losing industry like crazy. And
We just reopened a unit there.
I know.
We added a few people.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Town of Camden's got sewage and water to put out, you know, have businesses come in. 75 will be a big, huge for Flora and Delphi.
Yeah,
And plus the rail runs there too, so, I think I agree with you guys, that's another topic we can work on. To me, this is kinda hard to pass up right now. I understand the future of it when we're gone, but like she said, we pay almost $1.3 million with the city of Delphi, even though you split that, that's a lot of maintenance on that road.
With the maintenance for the city, it probably just be on, live there. Not the whole roadway, but.
Right. Be the trail
I
project.
need to understand something, okay, so if they decide to go with this project, you're saying that there's no cost to the city or the county?
That's our anticipation. This will still need approval by our chief financial officer. I mean, right now, we're still, in discussion over what this looks like, but I
But
can't
if we
take
don't-
anything to him until we have an agreed upon, this is what you want, this is what I
Okay.
think's acceptable, and then he signs off on it.
But if we don't decide today, then it will be the cost of the city and the county
Possibility.
for the other extra things other than the bridge.
There's a good possibility, only because, and even then, a decision
Which-
still has to be made whether the city and the county can cost share that and cover it.
Which what I'm getting to is, then that would include the council. And we can't tell them what to do, you know, they would have to approve all this. And that will take time. I'm just throwing that out, that's why I'm saying,
Thank you.
when do you need to know, I mean, if they could have a joint meeting with them,
Well, you still gotta take it back to your financial. So this is not a guarantee,
Right.
you know, we agreed to it. If we
No,
agree
I
to
don't,
the.
are we agreed though? I wanna make sure that's where we're at.
Well, I'm just saying, if you take it back to your financial and they don't agree to this extra, just repaving in the bridge,
Mhm,
and there's still no cost to us,
mhm,
then all we take on is just the maintenance later on.
mhm.
And but you're gonna give us a 10-year grace period with some allowance there for like cracks and seals and stuff like that. And you fix all the other issues that we have along the road.
Well, I wanna define those issues first when you say any other issues.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
know
doing.
we talked about the dam,
Right.
and that drainage. So first we'd have to see if it's an NDOT responsibility. Sometimes we come to find out it's the responsibility of the property owner who's made the improvements versus NDOT, and we have to go back to the property owner and they're required to make that remediation.
Right.
So I don't always have authority to go in and fix everything, because doesn't mean it's necessarily, it might be impacting our right of way, but it might not be in my right of way.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I don't wanna speak to those just yet, but essentially what I'm looking at is the paving projects, the, small structure maintenance and repair, the bridge replacement, including, option 3, is what I'm gonna go back and then potentially whatever we find out about this drainage is what I will go back and present to our financial team
Right.
for our CFO's approval. Because I'll have to have a financial blessing. Now, if you were taking it at no cost, you'd say it's your afford, you just go right ahead. Easy peasy, right? But, because there's, things besides funded program, projects in here, I'll have to get that concurrence with our, cause we only have so many dollars across the state that we spend every year on relinquishment, aka road transfers. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but 25 million doesn't go very far when you talk about the number of communities that we work with every year. I am not exaggerating when I tell you I have a drawer in my office of potentials. Some I've met with, some I haven't, some I've met with twice.
So if we meet the deadline, we won't be back on the radar for 20 years maybe.
I don't know, I'll see what else I can find. No, we still have a conversation about State Road 75 to have. So we'll continue working through this, but again, our focus right now is making sure we can deliver this bridge and the bridge essentially, because the roadway projects aren't gonna change, they're gonna happen no matter what, because there's no changes being requested by the local, whether it be the city or the county, so those paving projects will be easy from that perspective. Then what we'll have to talk about, and I don't know what this takes from an ordinance standpoint or what it looks like on re-signing for the truck route. So I know it's an easy process through us. I talked to our, traffic engineer about just doing it via permit. He just approves the plans and we're good to go.
Well, I'd like to make one comment. When they brought the 75 extension out to, what was it, last year or so?
About 8 months ago.
You know, again, I did have a hard time supporting that. Yeah, I didn't back before. It failed one time, right here in our own county. And I had a hard time supporting it this last time, so. County wants out, and we see development, we got the 4 lane now, and I think that, you know, that we probably should move forward with that project. So that's why I'm standing strong, for that. George Mears brought that up, he immediately made us the piece. And, we had funding started, council cut it off, and every hard day. So, that's what I'm just reiterating, I think it's important.
Well, I think the
It could have
summer
been
meeting,
done for a lot less money, is I guess what I'm really trying to say, when we talked about it before. Because we have the blessing of NDOT, and the money's coming. I see projects in other counties being done in segments, close to home. And tremendous improvement, we could have it. And this day is still in that, so I'm sorry, if I apologize, I need to apologize, I'm sorry. That's just worth doing.
I think what I like to do when we have a separate meeting about, State Road 75 is if you could kind of timeline some history for me. So I can, if you can provide that for me, or give it to Adam. That'll give me an opportunity to have some conversations, within our agency and pick other people's brains, because sometimes things happen behind the scenes that we weren't aware of. Not this happened in Indiana, but I'm fairly intimate with it because it happened in Michigan near where my parents live. There was something specific that stopped, the continuation of US 31, north of Napier Ave, up to 94 and then 196. And it didn't have really anything to do with the agency itself. There were some other things at play there. Believe it or not, butterflies was one of them. Yeah, the road's constructed now. I just want you to know I was up there, for Thanksgiving. And now I have to remember what exit to get off, but, sometimes there are things that happen behind the scenes that we're not aware of, and if we can understand those better, it helps me know what direction to go, or who to talk to, or what to ask. So,
I think all we can commit is that, you know, we're willing to have that conversation, you know, and I think hopefully through the mayor and you all, Sarah and I, at least demonstrated that, you know, we operate in good faith and we, you know, we can't make any promises on this or anything, but we can always have a discussion and a conversation in good faith, so.
Can't in the future, so if we do take this road over, what kind of maintenance are you looking at? Would be just,
Well, the bridge would be very, very minimal.
right, we put that in our,
Yeah, I've got a bridge plan, so,
Right.
and the road improvement plan, I'll look at, again, I do a 10-year, so we're looking at, what would it be done?
I
as
mean,
far
we
as
just
chip
added to
seal.
our snow route then. That'd be the
Correct.
biggest, that'll be the biggest thing,
The biggest thing is we have to inventory.
put in our inventory.
Yes, I need to put it in the,
But
I'll
we can't,
get funding for it.
we'll get funding for it.
I understand that, yeah. The deal with it.
But we can also take off roads that are, no, I can't. I'll be adding more into my inventory.
But how many miles is it total?
6 center lane miles.
6. Dale, you got a comment?
You mentioned earlier on the map about a roundabout down at Dairy Queen. Is that involved in this road improvement, or is that a separate issue?
I think that'd be the separate issue.
And I can speak to that a little bit now, if that's okay.
Yes,
So what we've done, previously with other communities is we've looked to, community crossings and some sharing. So when we look at the cost of a roundabout, and again, very just IDUB estimate from where we're at, didn't get into any details, I just went to the traffic engineer and I said, hey, this is where I wanna put a roundabout, what do you think it'll cost me? So extremely rough number, right? $2 million was his anticipation to put a roundabout there. Today,
Yes,
today,
today.
right, today. Right. Well, I don't know, roundabouts used to be $1 million,
I
so.
know. That was probably 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe it'll even out a little bit here, kinda like milk, I was paying $5 a gallon back in 2020, it's back to like $2.69, so you never know.
Oh, you need to go get milk.
Oh, you guys got better milk?
It's not $2.99, I will tell you that.
You guys got a source?
Right.
I said it's not $2.99.
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa. You guys don't have an Aldi? No, just kidding.
Yes, they will.
So what we look to do is an agreement to cost share, and we'll do a third. So the city would put in a community crossings, the county would put in a community crossings grant application, and the NDOT would do, an agreement to cover the other third.
Right there, and I don't like them. I do not like
You
them.
don't like
I do
roundabouts?
not. I've been in 2 accidents roundabout, this idiots don't know how to drive on the road.
I love roundabouts, it hurts.
Yeah, the guy always to the left of me wants to turn right in front of me. He's on the inside of the circle.
But you know, the more we build, the better people will get at roundabouts.
Build it and they'll come.
Absolutely.
More accidents.
But you know what, they're small property damage accidents.
I don't know, it cost me like $5,000 on my truck.
Well, my husband's wheelchair just got hit and it was 68,000, so. We'll just leave that there for you.
5,000 another.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a roundabout though.
No, but he was in a crosswalk.
See, maybe there a roundabout there.
Right, you know what, I'm gonna propose that it is on a state highway.
So, I know he don't wanna vote today. I understand his issue. I'm in favor for getting the bridge replaced and resurfacing and taking it over. The other issues, you still gotta come through your financial. I mean, that's gonna be free and possibility. I'll be in favor of that, as long as it don't cost the county taxpayer. I mean, even we're already paying for it through NDOT, as long as it come from the local fund, so.
If it makes you feel better, I'm contributing to that as well.
Yes, everybody does. I understand his issues about the other towns and the other roads, so, but I don't think if we don't do this, we're gonna lose the opportunity for another 10 years or so to get this done. Then we'll be paying for it ourselves, that's it.
I don't know the answer to this, you might be able to help. Let's say that the bridge was constructed as NDOT has designed. If they wanted to come back later and add that additional lane, separation lane at grade as well as the tunnel, would that significantly change the design now? Is that an opportunity for them to do in 10 years if they wanna do in 10 years?
It wouldn't change our design now, but if you wanted to do that, then you have all of the foundation work and the permitting. It would be pretty significant to line.
So it's gonna be significantly more.
In terms of the bridge, cost-wise, it's, yeah, when you're replacing it, I mean, it's probably not really obvious, but
Are you guys available anytime this week? We have to have a 48-hour notice. But it has to be in the evenings, because I can't take any more time off work this month.
I sit on a symphony board and this Saturday is our big to-do for our Holiday at the Pops concert, so it's, evenings are tough.
They don't have to be this week, it can be next week.
Okay.
Late evening,
Yeah.
just late afternoon, right?
Right, late afternoon, yeah. I get off of work at 3, and I can be here about 3:30.
I can,
Is it 48 hours, so Wednesday at the earliest?
Well, yeah, Wednesday courthouse is closed in the afternoon.
I can't do one, that's my Wednesday. Can't do Wednesday. I'm triple board.
How about next Monday?
Is that the 12th?
I'm in,
I'm in Indy Monday, Tuesday. I could do Wednesday the 14th in the late afternoon.
Yeah, the courthouse is closed in Wednesday afternoon.
What about Friday this week?
Could the meeting occur elsewhere?
Friday the 16th,
No, that's not saying Friday this week.
this week?
I can't do that. I can do the 16th in the late afternoon. Unless you wanted to meet virtually, that does make a difference too. Cause this is a little over 3 hours of travel time for me,
Right.
and for Adam, actually much more for him, but it's his fault he lives so far away, not mine,
But I think our policy on virtual meetings,
is no.
We got rid of our Zoom just
Okay.
about 3 weeks ago, I just had to say.
Oh, that's fine.
Because they weren't using it and it was costly for us. I know there's a free.
We can always set up Microsoft Teams that the state uses, that folks who are outside the agency can dial into. It's what we use with the mayor and Delphi as well too. When we have folks who can't attend, we do try to attend in person, but sometimes there's a few people who couldn't. The last meeting that we had, I was the only one who could, but Adam and Matt, fortunately could call in and at least hear what was going on and contribute from that aspect, so. So really, probably, Friday the 16th would be,
I mean, I don't have to be here, I've heard everything, it just needs to be built. And more. Well, I'm in favor of it, so.
Well, that doesn't mean.
Yeah, you
All I gotta do
Can't
is-
do it
I think-
now.
I think Bill might be in on it,
You have to be here.
I know. Is there any chance you guys can get a hold of Chairman Brown and discuss it with him, and then next time we meet, we can just say, hey,
he was at our first meeting,
He was at the first meeting.
he was at our first meeting and has the same details. I don't know that he's had an opportunity, cause I've brought these exact same details to
Right.
every meeting that we've had. I don't know if maybe he hasn't had an opportunity to digest that and ask questions. I mean, that's something that I could probably do with him over the phone, if need be.
he's working.
I cannot do the 16th that late
Right.
in the afternoon, and I can't do it this Friday because I have a funeral,
Okay.
so. But I can rearrange and work in the afternoon on that 14th.
Is that good with you, Lauren?
We'll be talking about that later.
You guys got Beth's email, right?
I think.
Y'all
I don't
under
think,
email?
this is the first I've heard of any of this, so.
14th would be in the afternoon, so, yeah.
We can make that work.
So, Lauren don't know about his schedule yet, so.
I think I'll put it.
I could probably be here about a half hour earlier. 2:30, 3:30 area. I just have to ask. We had a guy quit at work, so it's just a few of us there.
I think, from our perspective, we can pencil that in, check with Commissioner Brown and see.
Then
What time did you say?
3:30,
That's fine.
3:30. Just in case I can't get that off work. But you guys start the meeting without me, I can come in. Is there any discussion?
Let's say 3, and we'll, okay,
I'll do my best to avoid train, but I do.
Good luck.
We're doing the crossing, so they probably look better.
That's 3.
Yeah, GPS, I think, a little.
In the meantime,
They do
Ted,
that out this
you'll still
way.
receive the documents and look over them?
I will, yeah.
Okay.
I will provide that. And it's been a couple of years since LaPorte's done one, so I'm actually on my way to Fort Wayne, after this, and my peer over there, I think, has a newer one. Just in case the template's changed at all, I'll see if I can get that.
my cards are over there if you wanna send it to me, and then I can make sure that Bill gets it also. I mean, I'll print it out for him and stuff.
All of our cards are over there if you.
Yeah, and do you have cards? Or sheets? Or how do you spell your last name, is all I need to know.
TARKHOUSE.
And Adam is our primary contact, just so we don't start duplicating things. So anything that goes to him, if I need to take care of it, he shuffles it to me. If it goes to somebody else, he knows where it belongs, so. He's our gatekeeper.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything?
I think the meeting that you set with the council is at 1:30, not at 1 on the 19th.
No, 1:30.
Because you had the courthouse dinner.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, it's a 1:30. That's another reason I didn't
Anybody else got anything coming for the commissioners? I'll second, all in favor? Aye. We have adjourned, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
How are you? Good. You?
Beth, I got that one confidential.
What's that?
In here.
No,
The last one I was involved in, State Road 28, and when the new one, they abandoned the old one, there was no bridge. It was just like that, yeah, so it really wasn't one.
You wanna talk about those claims?
4-lane highways. And the city is annexed almost. More than halfway.
Good to see you all.
The city
Thank you.
annexed.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.